I've got this, it's like a pavement or whatever, like a floor cleaner thing, and what it is, it's got two nozzles there, or spray, and then when it sprays, that spins around, and it does a really good job of cleaning. It's meant for like block paving and other floors, you know, like that, for cleaning. Because if you just use your normal nozzle there and you just have your spray, it takes a long time, whereas with this you've got the whole thing, and you can put detergent in there, and you can have like a, I don't know, either just a general soap or a degreaser or a specific block paving cleaner or something you can put in there, and it'll do it all in one go, agitate the lot. I actually bought it for when I used to have to maintain the driveway, which is the same sort of block paving as what we see here. I used to clean the driveway every 2 or 3 years using that, and I actually had to buy a new pressure washer. My old Karcher one, which is over there now, covered in cobwebs, I had one for that. It was alright, but that pressure washer wasn't man enough to power that for very long, and eventually it died. I was in the middle of cleaning the driveway. I had one end of it was clean and the other end of it was still dirty, so I immediately went out and bought a new pressure washer. This is a nice Ryobi. It's quite a, you know, is reasonable, 150 psi, no 150 bar, sorry, 150 bar of pressure, and it's also got its own detergent bottle there, various different brushes and nozzles. It's got a windy up hose. It's a very nice pressure washer, and that cleaner thing came with it, and I bought that especially to clean the rest of the driveway. About 3 months after I finished cleaning the driveway a couple of years ago, I cleaned it. I put fresh kiln dried sand down. I've still got a bag of it left over, look. We had some new neighbours move in next door. Now the driveway is a shared driveway, and I've got all the equipment that I've used for the past 10 or more years to clean the drive every now and again. So now I'm left, I've got neighbours moved in, really nice couple. I helped them knock down a wall and do all kinds of stuff. They've renovated the whole place, but they're really particular over the driveway. The man in particular loves the driveway. He cleans it all the time, and he's taken over. He's like, let me take over, let me do the driveway. So whereas it's a shared driveway, and usually, because we had an old couple living next door before, I would always clean the drive every couple of years. I'll keep it swept, and every 2 or 3 years I'll get the pressure washer out, get the detergent, pressure wash it all, get it all nice and clean, buy the kiln dried sand, put it all in, whack a plate it all down, make it all fresh again. Because every time you pressure wash block paving, the sand will wash out. I'll show you in a minute what you should and shouldn't do. When the sand washes out, the bricks will start to collapse in on each other. That's when you get block paved driveways which are all wobbly, because all the sand's gone. The sand is what holds it all together. I would do all of that, but that wasn't good enough for this man that's moved in next door. So he's taken over, which is brilliant for me because it means I haven't got to do it anymore. He put this film on it and all this kind of stuff, and he loves to pressure wash it, and he washes it all the time. So now I've got my pressure washer, the pavement cleaner thing, all the detergents, the lot that I've had still got left over. But I've got this little bit of block paving in my garden, and I thought to myself, let's give it a bit of a clean. So we'll see what the old stuff can still do. So this is a little bit of a drain. It leads down into a soakaway which actually goes underneath the grass in the garden. When we did it 13 or 14 years ago, we never actually finished off this bit. We're supposed to have a bit of a grate in here with a mesh over the end of the pipe, but we never got round to doing it. So all the dirt and mud what washes off the driveway, which is underneath the side gate there, and this little bit of block paving which I've got here that goes into the shed. The dirt runs in there, but also it goes inside the pipe, so this will need to be cleaned out eventually, but for now I just keep on top of this. I cleaned all of this out last night, got rid of all of that the mud and dirt that was in there. And that's a lot of the dirt that I got out of it, all the mud. It's not really any good, can't really use it as topsoil anymore, because over the years I've had lawnmowers and all sorts, repairing lawnmowers and all kinds of things, engines, motorbikes, whatever else I've had there. I've had a few oil spills, so that soil was contaminated with a little bit of oil now and again, so best just to get rid of that. It's actually raining quite a lot out there at the moment now, so lucky everything's waterproof at least. And we're underneath a bit of a lean-to where I'm going to be washing that little bit of block paving. I've got this contraption here as well. This is like a gas, it's basically a long torch, and you've got a little sparker there, and you turn it on and press the sparker, and you get instant fire coming out the end. It's quite long. You can just hold it down on the floor there and it kills all the weeds. Pretty handy really. I love stuff like that. Really neat piece of stuff that is. I used to love walking up and down, burning all the weeds. In fact, I used to use this, a similar thing, but a bit more of an industrial scale when I used to work on a golf course, and I used to go around frying all the weeds on the floor and all of that. Once they've been fried, they don't tend to grow back for quite some time. It's good fun as well. I mean, everybody likes playing with flamethrowers, right? So all we have to do is get our wand here. This is called a wand. Get the old pavement cleaner, stick it on the end like that, and away we go. Now we can go and do some scrubbering. Let's see what kind of work it makes of this piece of block paving. So this is what we're looking at. All of this here, it's odd bricks, odd blocks I should say. I know that because it's what we had left over when we done the driveway. The driveway's been done for about 25 years, but we did a little bit of work on the side here and we built this wall, and then we put this little bit of a soak away in and done all of this. And when we rebuilt this garage, we put this little bit of block paving in just with the odd blocks that we had left over. But over the years, past 2 years, 2-3 years, it has got a little bit dirty there. A bit of a mouse trap, I'll have to move that out of the way, and a grease gun I'll have to move. But I'll give it a bit of a clean off with that pavement scrubber thing, a little bit of a sand leakage, and we'll see how clean we can get it. You can see where some of the sand has been washed away, and what will happen is if you pressure wash this and the sand removes, as you can see, this is all the sand, right, holding the bricks together. If the sand has gone like it is here, the bricks, well no, I can't move it by hand typically, but the bricks will move, especially if it's on a driveway where you're driving cars over it or you're walking on it frequently. The sand isn't in the middle there, holding the two blocks together, so they'll wobble around and move, and eventually they'll sink. So it's very important that you put kiln dried sand back in the cracks once you've washed over your piece of block paving. You're supposed to use a whacker plate. You push the sand in with a broom when it's dry, and then you get a whacker plate and whacker it. You can get them with a rubber plate, or you can get like a sock thing to put over them. They're not very common. Or you can just use the whacker plate with a steel plate and it'll be absolutely fine. I was once on a project where I'd done around about 8 miles of block paving, brick or block by block, for 8 miles, footpaths and driveways all along, snaking around, and we just used whacker plates with a metal plate. Probably not supposed to, but there you go. You've got to whacker the sand and vibrate it all the way in the cracks until it fills all of the cracks properly. Otherwise, you'll just ruin your block paving. But anyway, let's get the cleaner and see how clean we can make this little section of block paving. Hopefully we'll also notice the soak away will hopefully soak away better now that I've cleaned a lot of the mud, and as long as I can get in that pipe. My arm was only so long. It'll have to be dug up eventually and redone, but for that we're going to ignore that for today. Hopefully that will drain a lot better and won't end up with a puddle. Got to repair that bloody gutter as well. Some surgery is happening. Don't mind the surgery, that'll be done. Well, that's done a pretty good job of that. Because we're in such a small area, it's difficult to keep it all contained, but I'll get the broom on it and brush it all out. I've done the mat as well and the grate in there for that soak away. So it's done a pretty good job. We know the blocks are odd anyway, it's just the ones we had left over, so we just made this little path here. It's done well. It's not sunk or done anything, because every time I've cleaned it, I've made sure I put kiln dried sand back in it. But obviously now I've got to wait for the rain to stop and for this to dry out before I can put the dried sand back in there. That's good sand, that's bloody expensive sand. I tried to give it to next door to use so he didn't have to buy another bag, but it weren't good enough for him, so he gave it back. I had to raid the old O-ring box because this has been stored in the roof of the garage now for some years. Well, about a year, maybe 2 years, getting on for 2 years last time I used this. And the O-ring there, I put 2 on there because I didn't have any of the right size. But the O-ring there had fallen off. Don't know where it's gone. I probably swept it up and put it in the bin a long time ago. So I had to raid the old O-ring box. I didn't have any of the right size, the right thickness. But I managed to find 2 there that, well, I could put them on. It's never going to focus on that now, is it? But there we go. 2 O-rings on there now. They're not the right ones. They didn't leak as much, but managed to get the job done. It's not even that dirty in now. Look. Pretty handy piece of stuff, this. You can get big ones, you can get little ones, but they really do work well, especially if you've got a pressure washer that's man enough. And obviously this one came with that one, so it's designed to work together. So I put the little grate back there now. The soak away didn't really do its job. I could only unblock it as far as my arm would reach in down the pipe. The pipe goes all the way down into the middle of the garden where there's a great big stone thing. I can't remember how deep it was, but obviously over time now, because we've got clay here, it's got blocked up again, and obviously the pipe itself is blocked up. I did, before I put the grate back, obviously some of the dirt from here has gone back in there after I already cleaned it out, so I re-cleaned it out and put the grate in back. But what I'm going to have to do in, well, whenever, it's been like this now for probably 8, 9, maybe even 10 years. It floods and then it soaks away very, very slowly. But when we first put it in, we first dug the hole and put that in, it used to soak away really quick. But obviously, you know, it's just, we should have put the mesh over the end and finished this bit off when we actually did it. But it's one of them things, you just don't get round to it sometimes, and some things are left half finished. But it's just the way life is, isn't it? You know, that's just general life. But what I'll do, I'll dig a trench along where the pipe is, pull the pipe out, clean the pipe out, and then when we get to the end where the soakaway itself is, I'll pull all the stone out, clean it all out, maybe dig it a bit deeper so it can hold more water in. Because what it's supposed to do is the water's supposed to go in there and the stone is supposed to hold it, and then it slowly permeates into the water table or into the ground. You know, that's what's called a soakaway. Slowly it goes into the stone, slowly soaks away. It's not actually a drain that leads to a drain, if that makes any sense, like to a sewer. But, you know, one of them things, perhaps we just didn't dig it deep enough or whatever like that. But, yeah, man, that's a job for the future. Might even give me an excuse to get one of those little mini diggers in. You know, the mini diggers that you can fit through doorways. Get one of those in, dig a hole, put some more stone in it, put a proper soak away and do it properly this time, and then we won't have this trouble again. Should have the parts coming for this today. It was a diff because I put a more powerful engine in this, and obviously I know, you know, it's going to expose weaknesses. I was waiting for the I thought the rear diff would go first, but it didn't. The front diff actually went first and all stripped out. So I've got a new diff on the way, so that should turn up today, and I'll better get on with this. But it's a Savage SS project that I put a bigger engine in and higher torque servos and stuff. I'm going to put some more stuff in it at some point as well. But a little bit of a nice project, a little bit of nice stuff. If you like RC stuff, it's always good fun to play around with it sometimes. But when it's raining like it is out there now, doing stuff like this is the perfect time to be doing it as far as I'm concerned. A little bit gutted because my fertiliser, this was a bag of fertiliser that I had obviously for the grass, and it was outside but it was covered up and I thought it was alright, but it had a hole in the top of the tarpaulin and the water was slowly leaking into the bag. So I put the fertiliser in this tray because I didn't want it to all dissolve into the floor, and what I'm going to have to try and do when the weather warms up is dry it out, keep turning it around and dry it out, because I don't want to waste this much fertiliser, man. It's expensive stuff, and I don't want to waste it. Once it gets wet, it's probably not as good as it could be, but I don't care. I'm drying it out and I'm putting it on the grass. Simple as that. Quite, you know, it's quite a good thing really. You can do something like this if you want to do this kind of thing, clean all your block paving, but it's a regularly used piece of block paving, like you drive on it regularly or something like that. You want to do it in the dry weather, and so that it can dry out and you can get the sand in it straight away, because if you do it and it's in the rain and you're using it regularly, and if you've washed away all the sand, it will start to sink and it won't be a perfectly flat piece of block paving anymore. So you want to be doing it in the dry weather, really, in the summer. Bit of a chip there, look, but that's all right. These were just old blocks, you know, we had them left over, so we were like, what are we going to do with this bit? Ah, let's put these blocks here and make a bit of a block pave. So that's what we did. Actually, to be honest, my dad did probably most of the work on this bit, but I was always having to go to work to earn me money to survive in life, you know what I mean? Bloody speakers. I've got these old speakers, but I can't get rid of them, and now they got a stain on them because of oil splattered on them. They work perfectly fine, they just don't look the best. I was thinking about putting a tannoy system outside so I could shout at pedestrians and shout at people that drive too fast, but that was just a crazy idea that I decided against because I haven't got enough cable. But I might stick those out the front for free and see if anybody wants to take them, because they work, they just don't look the best. They'll be good to put in a shed, you know what I mean? Bit of music here and there. I've got my other little ones up there, look, in the corner. One up there and one up there, look. Chilling out in the corner up there. Pretty good. Linked up to me little hi-fi system that was free because I found it in a bush. Lovely job. Love it, man. You gotta love free stuff. Got my bag of charcoal there for barbecues. Keep that in here while it's raining. Got it all out because it was summer, but now it's raining, so keep it indoors. Anyway, you lot, I'm out of here. Thanks for watching. It's always good fun to try and do a little thing. See, I like things to be clean, tidy, you know. I don't mean clean as in germ clean. I'm not bothered about germs. You know, we all need germs, the more the merrier. But I like things to be looking quite tidy, you know. I like things to have their place. You might not believe it from looking at this place over the past years, however long I've been doing this kind of stuff. But clutter happens, doesn't it? You know, when you're a hoarder, you get clutter and then you just have a bit of a cleanse. But generally I like things to be clean and tidy, so now and again it is good to have a bit of a clean around. Just tidy things up. And I've been doing the garden recently. I've been painting the fences. Oh, well, actually I've been using a sprayer. I use this sprayer because I was doing it with a brush, you know, as you do, and one day I just thought to myself, actually I've got a sprayer. I looked on the tin for the fence stuff, and it said it could be used with a sprayer. So I thought, brilliant. So I loaded it up. I haven't cleaned it out because to be honest, I had to drill a hole bigger. There's a hole what this fills in. I had to drill it bigger so that the stuff would fall through it. I know you're going to say, well, you could have diluted it, but no, I didn't, because it says on the thing, do not dilute with water or anything else. It's water-based fence stuff, not oil-based. Anyway, so yeah, and I had the old SGS compressor power in it. This compressor, it's a 100-litre compressor, but it can't keep up with an air gun. Like an air sprayer, it just can't keep up. The pressure kept going too low. You have to wait for it to fill it up, and then when you start going, but it's a good compressor. And what I was thinking of doing was, I don't know, I haven't done any research, but I'm assuming that probably the compressor unit itself is the same as the one with the belt driven drive. This is a direct drive, so it's just got an electric motor which drives the two compressors, the two pistons. But I wonder if I could just get the direct drive system, like with the pulleys and the motor and whatever else I need as replacement parts from SGS, and convert this to belt driven, and wonder if it would just be quieter, and I wonder if it would help to keep up, because the compressor itself just can't supply enough air to the receiver when you're spraying. You can do a few panels. By panels I mean slats, you know, not actual fence panels. I mean you can do a few of the, about 6 passes, you know, like tss, 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 and then the compressor's running, and then you're running out of air and you haven't got enough pressure, so you have to wait. So but do you know what, proper, this compressor, man, it's lasted me well. I don't know how long I've had it now, 5 maybe 6 years, but it's had a hell of a lot of use. It's on every day I'm in the garage. I'm not in the garage every day, but all the time I'm in, I put the compressor on, because you never know when you're going to need compressed air to clean something, to drill a hole with the drill, to undo nuts, to run the nut runner, you know. You never know when you're going to need compressed air, so bloody good piece of kit, man, I tell you. But it would be better if it was quieter, because it is loud, and if it's quite late at night, I'm always a bit dubious about running it. So it would be better if it was quieter. But I might try and convert it to belt driven one day, because that will definitely make it quieter. So, nice. But yeah, I do like things to be clean and tidy, especially things which are impression based, first impressions, you know, like the front of the bungalow and all that kind of stuff, the driveway, etc, etc. I like to be clean and tidy, because as people walk past, it's an impression, isn't it? I don't like to be too clean and too tidy, because then people think you're showing off, and nobody likes to show off. But that's what I like, and it's good now that I haven't got to do the driveway, because the neighbour's taken over it. He can do all of that kind of stuff, so I haven't got to do any of that. I can just concentrate on my house and my side of the things. So and it's always good when you get nice people like that, and good people. He's willing to do that kind of stuff. So I'm still going to keep me, you know, pavement cleaning stuff and driveway cleaning stuff, because I still clean other people's driveways for them, family members and other people. It's always good to have equipment. If you've got equipment and you think, I don't need it anymore, and you sell it, you know that you'll need it, or you know someone will ask you, oh, I want this doing, can you do it? And then you can't do it. You can't do them a favour, because you've sold the piece of equipment. Keep drills, keep pressure washers, keep all kinds of stuff. Although pressure washers are a bit of a pain, because they're bloody messy. They use a lot of water and a lot of electric, so they're expensive to run. And if you've got a petrol one, not so bad, because petrol's cheap enough. But always good to keep them, man. Keep all your equipment, because then you can do people endless favours, and it makes you feel absolutely incredible when you help someone out. Anyway, I'm out of here. Thanks for watching. Catch you later on. Doesn't matter. Remember, it doesn't matter who you are, who anyone else is, religion, race, whatever. We're all the same. We love each other. Just take care of everybody, yeah? Give everybody respect. Give everyone... Just treat people how you want to be treated, yeah? Doesn't matter who they are, where they're from. So, I'll catch you later on. Love life. All the best, you lot.